Hello and welcome to the show. We are here today on BeamNG Drive at the Proving Ground circuits with some more vehicles being driven till destruction. We start with a Burnside. Now, we've had two versions of a Burnside go around this track and both of them have died at exactly the same point on the circuit. So, I'm curious to see how this Limo version is going to go. It's bigger and heavier than the normal ones. It's longer, which is a concern for the drive shaft. Might be stronger, possibly. I'd imagine, you know, going for extended chassis, you might have some extra support, some extra structure, if you like, on the underside to protect it. I don't know on that, though. So, we're going to give it a go. We're going to see what can happen. I presume it's got a V8 of some sorts at the front. There is a drag version of the Limo that I haven't gone for in this. So it's not quite crazy. It's not got crazy performance, this thing, but it's not too slow. It should get around this course. It should go quick enough to make the jumps comfortable enough in terms of the landing. Through the water, we go. Actually, it loses a whole load of momentum through there. We are stuck with an automatic box, which isn't great. Doesn't necessarily have it in the right gear at the right time, but that's just what we've got. No problems over the checkerboard. Now that is what has killed Burnsides in the past. Both the Ute and the normal one died with, I think they got so buckled that their chassis and stuff were catching on the checkerboard and it snapped the drive shaft, if I remember rightly. Oh, okay, a bit too much understeer through there. Might carry a bit too much speed on the way in. Across the bumps we go. Again, no real crazy issues there. Now the plus side for a vehicle like this, and for all of the classic American cars, is that good old wobble-matic suspension. The leaf springs and whatnot are very difficult to break. On the most part, you don't really see the wheels break much on these cars, suspension break much. If it does, it's catastrophic and highly entertaining. It's the drive shaft that's the drive shaft primary concern. I guess maybe overheating or steering might be the secondary concern. We'll see how this goes. It's not going to be as quick up here. Hopefully it should be. As long as we're just about... Oh, it's a little slow. Oh, okay. I mean, it hit down and it bent the back of the car up, but it was more bodywork than chassis, I think, that it bent up. Which is good news. That's what we want. If it can just buckle the bodywork as much as it likes. Don't care about that. Just as long as we can keep the chassis roughly straight, roughly not buckled, pretty much. This is the drive shaft, basically. If it gets twisted in such a way at the drive shaft, it doesn't take much for that drive shaft to snap. So, yeah. Oh, that's always a horrible jump. That is the end of the radiator. Now, that's a concern because I actually just noticed how hot the car is running at the moment. We're going to have to get to that water pretty sharpish. I guess maybe there's more Burnside to drag around, and that is having an impact on how much the engine's having to work. Obviously not got a high performer. We don't necessarily expect to have a high performance radiator in here. That is definitely alarming for this car. We don't really want... We're going to have to hope that the water can cool it. So the water at Shadowgrave does cool the engines a bit. Well, it depends on how big the leak is we've got on the radiator. There is something we do have with Beam. Oh, that's not a fun way to hit. That's actually collapsed some front suspension, maybe? Definitely done serious damage to that front right corner there. We're going to get to the water before we actually start damaging the engine, so really got to be hopeful here that it's going to cool it. Not every vehicle works being cooled through the water. Some get cooled a little bit, but not much. Some get very, very cooled. It all depends on how badly broken the radiator is, how the car reacts with the water, and all of that sort of stuff. Here we go, please. Okay, it is cooling the Burnside. Thank God for that. Now it's gonna warm up. It's going to overheat quickly again around this lap, but that it buys us a little bit of time. It buys us quite a lot of time, so it takes in a lot of water, this thing. That's good. Right, overheating concerns are abated slightly. It's the other concerns now. That front right wheel is looking pretty vulnerable, and it's one of those, that corner's taken hits so far. It's probably, now because everything's broken that side, we may well see that side is the side that then takes further hits, and then we maybe lose a wheel or something. If we lose a front wheel, we'll still be drivable. You know, it's not the end of the world, but it will get stuck on like the speed bumps like these, like the checkerboard and all that. We're running very low, and I suspect the sort of, if it hits something, the jolt that'll go through the car will snap the drive shaft again. So, yeah. Oh, car, please don't tip. Please don't tip as we head up here. Okay, you're going to tip the other way. Well, I'd rather you didn't land on, I'd rather you landed flat, but I guess it's better slightly to apply damage to the other side of the car. I mean, it's very broken, but it's not actually affecting the drivability of the car too much. This is a yet. It could well get worse on this. Dover, I mean, this is where we lost the radiator last time around. We were no real worse off temperature-wise. That's good. If we can keep that up, it'll keep going for a little while. It's that bending that I'm worried about. That bending that could lead to, well, you can see the whole front of the car is being pushed up. Now, it's just bodywork, that's fine, but when it starts pushing the engine and gearbox up, that's when the drive shaft goes. Oh. Okay, that's mostly onto the suspension, that's fine. We don't want to land too heavily and take out the steering rack, that is possible. Or nudge it around. Okay, now we are car. It's taken some damage. I mean, the cooling worked for a little bit. Can we make it back to the water to preserve the car a little bit more? That's still landing really heavily on that front corner. Oh, if we can make it to the water, that would be good, but oil is overheating. We appear to have lost power. I'm full throttle and we're not really picking up speed. It is now mostly downhill all the way to the water. But even if it gets there, the engine, if we get to the water, it might cool it. It'll buy it a little bit of time, but it will still be a very, very heavily damaged engine. Here we go. Oh, drink, drink. Oh, have we got enough power to even get across here? It's not drunk enough. It's not cooled enough. Oh, come on. Don't overheat here. Don't die where all of the other Burnsides have died. They died with drive shafts. Please, please, car, do not die across here. Actually, one was overheating, I think. One was dry, one was overheating. We've got, well, the temperature's gone down a little bit. I guess it's saved some. Although, if it doesn't actually pick up speed, I think the engine's going to blow up. If it doesn't pick up speed, there's going to be another car that's on the borderline of being counted out from that crawler. Or it can still crack 20 miles an hour. And I suspect it's not going to make it much further around here. The engine is back smoking again. I guess it took in some water or something. I don't quite know how it works with that. With the 30 now, we will cross the bumps. There we go. I spy some spinners coming up. We should get through here, no problem. We're at 20 miles an hour now, the giddy heights of 20. It is going to go the furthest of any of the Burnsides, which is something at least. I'm kind of surprised actually, considering it's a much bigger vehicle and everything. The engines are now cooling more, despite the fact that it is horrifically broken. I don't know what it's doing. It's kind of magically clinging on to life at this point. It's about to have a really bad day across the jump, I suspect. We're up to 30 miles an hour in this car. It's still clinging on. It could actually have a struggle getting up some of the hills if the engine's that poorly. It's still good to go. It lands, it clonks the nose. And that is it. That is it dead. That's the end of the engine. But, I mean, 4.2 miles is not bad. It's the best of the Burnsides. And it was the overheating that killed it, not the drive shaft. And considering it's a much longer car, this one, the fact that drive shaft stayed in one piece, I'm actually very, very impressed with. Yeah, it got a little bit of a respite from the water, but it was never going to be enough to stop this thing from overheating. However, that is a pretty damn good showing. Well, last time out, we had a caravan go around the course. Well, caravan. A car towing a caravan, not a caravan on its own. That'd be quite impressive. I mean, I guess this is a caravan on its own. We've got a motorhome. Let's go with that for the next vehicle. So this is a H-series frame with motorhome bits stuck on it. I'm not sure what engine it's got. I'm not quite sure what sort of level of heavy-duty suspension it's got on it. If the motorhome box lasts more than a lap, I will be impressed. But we never know. It's likely to last longer than the caravan in some ways. At least that is the hope. It has already crumbled. Oh, have we lost the toilet? I think we have lost the toilet. The toilet fell out the back. Oh, we're going to have a toilet trailer again. That's slightly disappointing. The interior walls I can see are moving around in there. The exterior walls, I mean, they've come loose. But they're relatively well held for the moment. I think we might start shedding furniture at some point. There we go. I mean, it is always funny watching the motorhome fall apart. That much is for sure. I mean, this one here is more just getting shaken apart through the openings. Once that back part is gone, might actually be quite strong. It's whether it does any damage, sort of serious damage, as the back part is disintegrating. Oh! Well, it was worth the motorhome just for that alone, I think. Oh, God. It can fit through here, I think. It's just going to be a very, very close squeeze in all of that. Yeah, structural rigidity of the back part is not really there anymore. It's kind of all got a bit loopy. The bed's almost fallen out. The bed will probably fall out on the jump, I would expect here. We will bounce. Oh no, it's still stuck in there. I don't think the whole bodywork is going to survive this section somehow. Oh no, it did. I am pleasantly surprised, actually. Is that the shower, like, rail on the left-hand side? I think it is. Oh, the cornering got a bit too much for it. There's now a rather windswept motorhome. The actual landing of the jumps aren't as bad for it as I expected. It's the cornering that's shaking it apart. Oh, it's peeled itself. There goes the roof, or the lid of the motorhome. Oh, it hasn't had an effect on the handling, I'll say that much. It's now very spinny and oversteery. There goes some of the kitchen. That's on the landing of Dover. We've still got bits of furniture inside it. We've still got the sofa. That's still attached. I think a lot of the cabinets are still attached. That's about to bounce out. Oh, no, we're across. Oh, we lost a side panel. It's going to be a lot of motorhome debris around the place. That other side panel is pretty resolutely stuck there. I'm impressed by it. The sofa is also wedged. Oh, there goes another bit of cabinet, I think. That's fine. We will head across the crescendo jump. That's no problem at all. Oh, the sofa's almost gone. Bits of... Oh, the actual whole bed is like loose on there. It's actually rotating around. That's going to throw weight distribution off a little bit across here. Yeah, it's definitely not nice to drive. It's not awful. There's... Was it the toilet? Oh, I don't know what it was. Another bit of furniture has just flung off. The table is the last thing standing in all of this. Ignore the fact that my wheels are basically in the stairs. Ah! Yeah, okay, so if that gets moving on its own accord, it can sheer momentum. There's a lot there. We'll just drag the motorhome around. Ooh, we've folded it up. I mean, that's not what I was expecting to have happen, but it is what has happened. And the table's quite well caught in there. The table may survive. Ooh, my temperature getting quite warm. That's not ideal. It may, again, it may be... maybe it's working harder than a normal one. It may just be that the H-Series is based on doesn't have a great radiator, and this course is a little too much. Oh, the table's gone now. So the rules... This is going to be a little bit of a tight squeeze. The rules for this are... Well, I have to drive a vehicle as fast as it can go around here, so I have to drive the cars hard. I can't just sneak around and keep everything alive indefinitely. But that does, for some vehicles, you know, going as fast as I can around here is flat out for most of the lap. That gets them warm. Some cars, like the rally cars, the full-on race cars, I simply can't go anywhere near full throttle for a lot of the lap because they'll spin or they'll be uncontrollable. We've got some more speed heading up here this time around. That's good. Oh, big crunch. We've lost both the doors on the cab, but we are yet to lose the remaining, well, one remaining side of the panel side of the motorhome part and the actual base part of the motorhome. You can actually see the chassis, how much it's being bowed as it's running around here. Now, I guess also dragging this sort of panel along is probably not helping matters, although it has now finally come free of all that. Right, we're down to one last bit of motorhome, and then it's just a pretty much basic H-Series, which are tough. We saw the work van. That thing did not die easily around here. I can't actually remember what killed it in the end. Steering or overheating? Steering, I think. I mean, I can already see this on here has got some steering issues going on. What we may see that could give this problems is if that trailer part is twisting around at the wrong moment. We might get spun into a hazard that we wouldn't normally. If it's not going to be as bad without the panel. Oh, that's an awkward landing. Okay, now it's at an awkward, very awkward angle. My steering is quite badly bent. It's pulling us a long way to the left. We've still got steering, just is twisting us around. That thing there surely is going to affect our flights a little bit. I imagine if it gets caught on anything... Thank you for that one. I do imagine if the bed part gets caught on anything, it will just get ripped off. I don't think whatever it's connected to is strong enough. It could take the fuel tank with it. That would be an alarming concern, really. Oh. Okay, well, it's been twisted back on to the back of the truck. That's kind of better than nothing. Oh, no, it's quite loose still. What has it got stuck on? I don't know how it's got stuck. It's weird. It's not quite what I expected. Oh, my steering is really poorly. I barely have to steer around this corner. You can see how much the back of the frame is twisted. So yeah, not only does it have a mind of its own with some of the steering to the back end moving, but my steering means I can't catch it very easily at times because the steering's busted. This is going to be a bit fiddly. I'm going to have to be very... Oh, come on, just. If that steering gets much worse, we won't make it through there. Quite simply, it's on the limit of what is going to be drivable through that section. Oh, stop it. Bloody trailer part causing us grief. Temperature at warm is where we're at there. I'm not sure whether I'm more worried about the temperature or the steering at this point. It's a good flight. Actually not terrible on the landing. Can we get it slowed down up here? Just almost in the wall. Yeah, oh, temperature it's cooled down a little bit. That's, I guess we lifted off the throttle while it's in the air. It's yeah, just being driven around here gets it warm. If we lose the radiator, it'll go in very quickly. Probably not a matter of seconds, but if the radiator goes on it, it will not live long, I would imagine, seeing as it is running so hot at the best of times. We'll clonk down across there. Still good. I mean, it's got a long way to go to match the work van. And I feel like this is in a lot worse condition than the work van was. The H-Series is tough. We'll give it that much. It is tough. Oh, we've lost a front wheel. We have lost a front wheel. That might... as long as it doesn't sit at too bad of an angle... we might be okay for most of the lap. It's just the spinners. Oh! Christ, that's also not helped. That's not going to help the overheating issue. It bounced and did a wheelie. Oh, okay, it's pinged. The bumps have helped ping the wheel out a little bit, so it's not quite... So if we have to drag that wheel along, that is going to make matters 10 times worse for the overheating, because it worked so hard. That front quarter is mostly destroyed. The ping off the wall did not help matters. It's really going to depend how that wheel is positioned when we hit the spinners. If it's at a bad angle, I think we're just going to we'll get fed into the final part. Oh, the engine's now overheating, as I feared it might be, because I've got to drive it hard to try and push that wheel along. Well, we're across the checkerboard. I was kind of hoping the checkerboard might rip the wheel off, but it's stubbornly clinging on to that front corner. We might need some magical assistance from the weight, the momentum of the trailer bit swinging around if we're going to make it through this next section. Here we go. Oh, I'm not looking forward to this. Across the Toblerones we go. It is, it's not in the worst position possible, but here we go. We've struggled at a good time getting into here. Can I get through? We can get through. Actually, that worked. That worked surprisingly well. I don't think it's going to do that every lap, but for now it's good. For now it's good. It's still more than quick enough to continue going. We've lost the front tyre. Actually, that might be good. That might restrict its ability to slow us down. It might limit what it does in terms of slowing us down. Oh, the diff is now having issues with the front corner is damaged. The engine torque is going. I don't think the truck is long for this world anymore. The whole corner is like, not just the... Yeah, the whole thing's... All the suspension's gone and everything there. It's not just the tyre rod. The entire corner's gone. That was the bounce off the concrete, I think, that did most of that. I had no control over it. The truck landed, bounced, did a wheelie and has no steering at good times anyway. It's just how it is. We're not going to find out again because I think it's going to overheat before we get to the start-finish line, I would imagine, the way we're having to drive it. We'll boop the... Oh, come on. Might actually struggle to get up here if that rear wheel doesn't get on the ground properly. I mean, exhaust is damaged, other bits are going. It's still able to crack the 20 miles an hour. Sounds awful. It's billowing smoke, Christ. I don't. There's a lot of smoke coming out of this. There goes the engine. But I tell you what, it was a good show. That was a good show indeed from the camper van. 6.8 miles. Yeah, that whole front corner got destroyed. The motorhome part came... It fell apart spectacularly, which is what we wanted. Made for some spectacle, but in the end, I think it fell off fairly quickly. Probably didn't have a crazy effect on this. It was the steering damage and then the wheel damage that overworked the engine to the point where it pretty much went pop. And the final vehicle to run around the course today is a very noisy one. This is the Genesis F2 car. I mean, it's a Formula 2 car going to drive around a destruction circuit. If it makes a lap, I'll be astonished. We saw the race car have huge issues. The LMP style car have massive issues. This looks like it has a little bit more compliance overall. It looks slightly more wobbly, which is good for this sort of thing. It looks like it might absorb some bumps rather than losing a wheel immediately. Now, I have driven this car around some other places, and I cannot... It might look like I'm not using much throttle. Oh, that's bad news. Okay, now we are beached. I am allowed to pull vehicles out that get beached. Otherwise, no low-slung cars could ever run this course. It's not beached... Oh, so much of its own damage. It's beached from the angle and everything that it went in at. What was I going to say? Forgotten, because it got stuck somewhere. But either way, it looks a little bit more wobbly. It looks a little bit more jelly. We can go across here. Oh, yeah, power. It's so ferociously powerful, this thing, that if I go full throttle, it's so cool. You can see how quick it is around here. I simply can't use the throttle. Just going to spin it. So we're going to have to be a little bit careful. It might look like I'm taking it easy on the car, but it's really just how much power I can use around a track like this. Ooh. I don't know whether this could go under the spinners. It probably could, to be honest with you. There we go. We're out the other side. I mean, we're in better shape than the F10 thing was. That was already lost 2 wheels at this point, I think. The jump, I'm worried about with this. Now, of course, we can't be flat towards this jump, but you can see the speed we can get up to here. More than about 70 miles an hour has cars jump out of the map, so we'll just take it nice and sensibly across there, make sure we land, have time to get the car sorted. I don't know if it's the... No, it's not the front wing, because the whole nose cone came off. What's flapping? Oh, are they like the side pods? Oh, they're kind of like the aero that goes around the side pods that's flapping. Oh, has that bump in the wall done some damage? Also, we were on slicks on dirt. This is not a good combination of stuff. I would have done some damage to the front wheel where we booped the wall ever so slightly, but I think it's more just slicks on dirt that are giving me problems up here. Oh, I've got to try and get some speed up over there to try and keep the nose up. If I land heavily on the nose, I think I'll snap my front wheels off. Not good. Rear left is maybe a little suspect. They've got quite a lot of camber and toe, but I don't know whether that's what the car had to start with. I've not really paid any attention to it at this point, or up until this point, really. Come on, car. Here we go. We're fine. I'll try and use a little bit of power and the car gets into trouble. Okay, some more jumps. Anything looking wobblier than it was a second ago. The rear wing's almost fallen apart. The aero parts do have an effect on the way the vehicle handles if you're going quick enough. Why have I got no steering? Why have we just got no steering there? The front wheels were turning, it's just, were they not on the ground properly? I don't actually know, we just had no steering at that point in time. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's not, why is it not steering? What's going on? Is something caught on the underside of the car? He's now beached in the sand. What was going on with that? It's like the front wheels are turning. It doesn't look like it's beached on anything. Sorry, I should have a quick check. If stuff gets stuck under the car, I am allowed to free said stuff. Oh, ooh, okay. Oh no, don't reverse back into there, moron. Yeah, don't do that. Oh, that's not good. There does seem to be some weirdness with this going on. I'm just not quite sure what it is. Oh, I know. I think I can see what it is. The front suspension's all busted, and the front wheels are turning, but there's basically no ground clearance at the front anymore. So it's like skating on the underside of the car. That's what's going on with this. Oh, this is not going to make it across here, I don't think. It kind of is, actually. Okay, so it kind of is making it. Now, I'm not sure how much is just suspension damage and how much is... So it can still get going. It's not dragging the whole way. Now, last time we had no issues getting across here. This time we do have some more issues. Oh, getting across here. No, there we go. If we find a point, we can bounce our way along, and it's still going. This is a remarkable performance from a car that really shouldn't be doing this. I'm not sure what's happened with the exhaust. It wasn't always this heavy smoking, was it? I don't think so. Maybe I need a little bit of speed in some places to try and clear these obstacles. Okay, we can just go under the spinners. Oh, there we go. A little too much power. That's what I was talking about. Oh, with the car. Oh, we are struggling to turn again. Front bit's flapping. The wing's still held in place. Amazingly, the wing's still held in place. We'll cross over that section. Doesn't really go in a straight line very well anymore. Oh, there goes the rear wing, has shattered now. That was one hit that just took it all apart. The front suspension still flapping wildly a little bit there. The end plate is stuck. I'd rather that all fell apart, because that could get under a wheel or something. Can't do much about it at this point in time. Just hope that it doesn't. If I try and pull it off, whatever it's connected to could do more damage. So unless it becomes a problem, I tend to just leave it there. There it goes. It shatters. It's come apart completely. That's good news for us. We don't want to go in the mud. The car will not get dragged out of that. Oh, there's a problem. I've seen the problem. That's the end of the Formula 1 car. We have a wheel spinning in the air, and the car will not be able to use any power anymore. That's it. That's it. Gone. That's the end of the Formula 1 car. But that is a good showing from it, yeah. I mean, technically it can still move. It's moving at like 3 miles an hour, but it's... Yeah, that is the end of the Formula 1 car. Its suspension collapsed to the point where... Well, actually, it's like one of the springs is like stuck fully compressed. It's just got that wheel up in the air and the diff. I'm surprised, but the diff is just not going to let it move. It lets it inch, but that's all it's ever going to do. So there we have it. That's the end of the... If I call it a Formula 1 car at some point, my bad. Formula 2 car. However, for an open-wheeled machine around a destruction course, that is one of the best runs I think any of them have ever had. Is really, really impressive. On to our leaderboard, and it is a great showing, actually, from the camper van. I have to say it goes into an 8th position here. Okay, yes, admittedly, it's mostly a H-series once the stuff at the back has fallen off, but still, I think it'll go wrong for that sort of vehicle quite quickly, and it clung on. In the end, the broken wheel just caused it to... Well, this is the resistance basically pushing that along with the broken wheel, caused the engine to overheat, and that was the end of that. But still, yeah, that's not a bad showing whatsoever. Likewise, the Burnside Limo, I mean, it did much better than the regular Burnsides, which is a real big surprise. To me, it goes into 25th place. It beats the Gladiator raid car that we had go around here. Yeah, for a big, heavy limo, I really thought the drive shaft was just going to let go on that quickly, but no, it kept going. Sadly, a bit like the camper van, it got quite warm. It's yeah. Overheat, engine goes bang in that. It isn't the most powerful car and it is quite heavy, so it's another one that's driven... You work the engine hard to get it around the track, shall we say, and that is the result. And likewise, it's another surprise with the Genesis F2 car. Okay, yes, it's only 46th place on the leaderboard. That might not sound particularly high, but considering what sort of car that is, that's a hell of a showing. It goes further than the Hopper. The Hopper that is an off-road based vehicle got beaten by a Formula 2 car that is not an off-road based vehicle. That's all. So, yeah, that is a hell of a showing. That is a hell of a showing for that car, I have to say. But there we go. That is going to be it for this video. As ever, I shall link all the mods used in the description so you can download them, have a go with them yourself. That shall be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching. And until next time, a goodbye.